Hey, what's up, guys? It is December 13th, Money Monday, of course. Oh, excuse me, I gotta blow my nose with the tissues I bought from today's profits. Uh, Much better. Alright, so, anyways, today I'm up $451 right now. Took three trades. I'm still in one. I'm in KYNC still. Let's go over it right from the beginning. We're going to start with AABB, which was my loss today. I lost about 80 bucks on it. The way that I played this one was actually off this double bottom here at 0.20, 20 cents right there. I bought in 2039 was the typical spread right here. So it wasn't an ideal spread, that's for sure. But I bought in at 0.2039, and then I sold when it broke down below 20 cents, and then 1950s, I think it was. AABB, 1956, yep. And the reason I think that this one didn't work is that, there is a double bottom in play here, but there was no real sign of strength bouncing off from the double bottom, and I should have waited for that confirmation before I entered that trade. The other trade that I took today that I'm still in, let's go KYNC. So I'm still in this one. I entered at 0.011. It was a little while ago now. I entered in 235. So somewhere right in here. And the reason I entered this trade is that it's starting to push towards the high of day. Some volume was starting to come in. It's kind of a speculative trade. I only have 100,000 shares, $1,100 position. I'm not super convicted that it's going to work, but I definitely want to keep an eye on it, especially because it has a pretty strong history of gapping up after green days. Now this is technically its second green day, but Friday rather, really wasn't that big of a green day, so I still think it has the potential to gap up. And with my small position sizing, I'd be comfortable holding this overnight in anticipation of a gap up. So we'll see what happens with that one. Probably cut it if it drops down 105-ish, probably somewhere in that neighborhood would be my risk level. The one that I made the primary amount of money on today, and I sold it way too soon, as usual, but AXXA. Now this was on the watch list this morning. I was looking for some continuation, and we got that. I missed this spike this morning. All of it, actually. I probably should have gotten in on this dip. But I played it this afternoon, just a little while ago. And the way that I played it, you can see it set a high a day shortly after noon today. I bought in at 256, sorry. So right in this area, you can see, we'll zoom way in so that we can get a good look at this. You can see this volume candle right here, okay? It's been doing nothing throughout midday. And then this volume candle right here is really what caught my attention. And then in the next candle or two, it started breaking over that 520, 521 area that it struggled with throughout midday. You can see that it couldn't break that level. So when it broke that level, I got in. I think I averaged 529. Yeah, about a 529 entry. I bought 100,000 shares of this one because I really like the setup on it. And then it was just 5 minutes later. 5 minutes later at 15:02, I sold it at 0.582 for a $550 win. I messed up because obviously it kept going. Now when I bought this initially, I was like, I want to see this test 6 cents. I think it can get there. It's got the strength and the volume coming in. But I went big. It's a $5,000 position. It's bigger than I usually go. So I got a little nervous, and when that $500 mark popped up on my unrealized profit, I was like, yeah, we're taking it. We're taking the safe profits, and we're going. So both KYNC and AXXA were the same kind of thesis, in which that it set a high a day earlier in the day, and then when it starts to approach that, is when I like to enter, especially when volume comes in like this. This one was a gimme. When that volume candle comes in, that is the absolute key to enter. And then when it breaks above that range it's been stuck in, bam, it's a gimme. I really liked AXXA. I wish I had held it a little longer. Of course, in this area I'd be up probably 1,200, 1,500 bucks, so that would have been an even better day. But 550 is pretty good. Cancels out my losses from earlier for sure. Now KYNC, this one was more of a speculative buy because there really hasn't been any drastic change in volume. You could argue this one, but it just got sold into. So it's not a very good example of a volume surge. This one's more speculative, but I also like the daily chart history of the gap ups following green days. So we'll keep an eye on that one and see what happens into close. Now the reason JPEG set up pretty similar, but the reason I'm not taking this one is the chart history. This is ugly. It is so choppy and ugly. There's no sustained green days. Everything's super wicky. You know, like this green day and then this green day that almost went down to the lows of the day prior, and it just is all over the place. So I didn't touch this one for an afternoon breakout, but AXXA was definitely the play this afternoon. I'm glad I was there for it, and I'm glad I noticed it and took it. I've been working on my afternoon plays. Maybe I'll do a video on that for the Trading 101 video series, which brings me to the shameless plug. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We got these daily recaps just like this one that I come out with every day at the end of the day when I'm trading. How I did, what happened, what I played, what worked, what didn't. We also have the pre-market watch list in which I go over the potential plays of the day before the market even opens. We also have the Trading 101 video series, which I alluded to earlier. We have the basics of trading, and we're constantly building on that content as well. So keep an eye and an ear out, and thank you guys. Bye.